When you think about how to win a game of Smash against your opponent, the typical way to do this is by taking all of their stocks by either hitting them off the side of the stage, sending them straight off the top, or going for a disrespectful dunk to send them straight into the Shadow Realm. Tournaments in every Smash game for the most part have always had a simple rule set. You and your opponent start off the match with a certain number of lives or stocks, and you fight your opponent until somebody runs out of stocks. The last person standing wins the match. That sounds simple enough, right? Well, there is one other win condition that doesn't occur too often, but it's still a very effective strategy to try to win. And yes, I'm of course talking about the timeout. It's no secret that Smash has its fair share of exciting, fast characters that are able to pull off crazy combos, while also having characters that maybe aren't as well liked by people. Look, I get it, playing against lame characters is annoying, and especially when your opponent is literally exploiting the fact that the match can't last forever, and eventually somebody is going to have to do something. But at the same time, I respect it. I mean, when you think about it, if there's money on the line and you're a competitor, then you should be willing to do whatever it takes within the rules of the game to win. And while some characters are notorious for trying to time people out like Sonic, there is one tournament set that comes to mind for me anytime that anybody mentions a timeout. And for that, we have to go back a few years, back to Smash 4. And I'm specifically talking about EVO 2015. That's right, back when Smash was at EVO. And now that I think about it, maybe I can see why they got rid of us.
I really understand why this is the last EVO. Last EVO was Smash 4. I mean, now you really get it.
This tournament was wacky for multiple reasons. Most of Top 8 was only best out of 3 instead of best out of 5. Smash 4 wasn't featured on the main stage for EVO, but the thing that made this one of the wackiest EVOs for a Smash game was custom moves. That's right, if you didn't have a chance to play Smash 4, or if it's been a while and you need a quick refresher, there was a feature in the game called custom moves. Basically, every single character in the game had the ability to change each of their specials. Each special move had 3 variations, and for some characters, this wouldn't change much, but other characters had moves that were beyond broken. Even though there was some discussion about whether or not these moves should be allowed in the official rule set for tournaments, the vast majority of people in the community advocated against allowing customs for tournament play. They were honestly a massive pain to unlock, and they really weren't worth the struggle of having to unlock across all tournament setups, because that would take hundreds of hours to do. The only workaround to really doing this faster was to use a 3DS and maybe use an action replay to try to unlock them all like that, but you still had to transfer them over manually to each Wii U console, and that was just a logistical nightmare to put on top of TOs. Even though customs were fun to mess around with, they were completely unbalanced, and it just added a whole nother layer to the game that honestly didn't need to be there. While some customs made characters more hype, others made lame characters even more lame, and I'm sure you can already tell where this is going.
Way to go, man!
Alright, let's get back to EVO 2015, right? We're sitting in top 32. Up next on the stage is going to be Larry Lurr, the longtime Fox main who has consistently placed well across multiple Smash titles. This man was already well established as a top Smash 4 player and was the reigning champion of what I believe was the very first Smash 3DS tournament where he used Bowser of all characters to take the crown, or in this case, the robe. Larry had a few different characters that he played in Smash 4, but for this specific set, he chose to go with Custom Sheik. Now, if you don't know, Sheik was already one of the best characters in the game, but of course, Customs made her just a little bit better. Larry opted to use the 2-2-1-1 moveset for Sheik, which was the most common moveset for her, and this kept her up special and her down special exactly the same, but it changed her neutral special and her side special. So instead of having regular Sheik needles, this gave Sheik penetrating needles, which did crazy shield damage and had a small electric stun to them. And instead of typical Sheik grenades, this gave Sheik gravity grenades, which allowed Sheik to throw grenades further away. Oh yeah, and did I mention that the explosion also pulled your opponent straight towards you, which lets you combo or just set up kills right away? Yeah, custom moves were just a blast to use. Now, if you're thinking what I just described sounds crazy, you might not be ready to hear about Larry's opponent. What could possibly be worse than giving one of the best characters in the game a spammable shield break option and projectiles that easily set up combos for you to melt stocks? Well, what if we decided to change up Villager's moveset a little bit to make him just a little bit better? Let's start off by making his balloons bigger and also making his balloons explosive. That way you get punished for trying to punish Villager. And you remember his Lloyd rocket that constantly goes across the stage and lets him camp? Well, let's make it a little bit bigger, that way camping's even easier for Villager. And lastly, there's one more thing we need to change to make this character a viable option in bracket against Custom Sheik. Let's go ahead and turn the tree into a banana tree. That's right, the move that made Villager the most annoying custom character in the entire game was what people referred to as the Slippy Seed. All you had to do in bracket if customs were legal was pick Villager, start the game, plant your sapling, and wait out your opponent. Really, the only way to get around this sapling was to jump over it or try to roll past it, because it tripped characters out of a lot of their moves, even moves that you would think could be used to get around it. It was by far one of the most broken custom moves because it forced your opponent to approach you or get timed out. And remember, with Smash 4, the rule set was 2 stocks, so it really didn't take much to get a lead over somebody. This was honestly such a lame strategy, and I cannot believe people would actually do that in tournament. I mean, what kind of sick person would be willing to do this in bracket against somebody? Anyways, this would be the character that Larry had to face in top 32 of EVO 2015. The question you might be asking yourself is, who piloted this character? Who was Larry Lurr facing in this set? Well, the answer to that is simple. If you're playing an awesome character like Custom Villager, you have to have a tag that fits the character. So of course the guy Larry was facing goes by Captain Awesome. Captain Awesome was a custom villager main, hailing from Connecticut looking to make a deep run at EVO 2015. He was notorious for his awesome playstyle that brought many people joy when they saw their name next to his in bracket. And he was also notorious for his signature OW symbol when closing out sets.
What was that?
What was that?
Is that
Is that is throwing it up?
You know what it stands for?
Yeah. Oh, Overwatch. Oh, okay.
Okay, so
All right, I can see that.
But most importantly, Captain Awesome was known for not being afraid to utilize that one win condition that I mentioned at the start of the video.
Captain Awesome. This dude, he plays villager, so he's no stranger to slowing down the pace.
So here we go, top 32, and to start this set off, of course, we have to start off on Smashville. This was the iconic starter stage, you know, kind of like how PS2 is now for Ultimate. Smashville was the PS2 of Smash 4. And of course, you have to pick a side with Villager. Starting off, spawning on the left side, so you're going to stay on that left side. What's funny about this first game is if you look in the background, you know, you have your Animal Crossing characters. Some of you might know Rover the Cat. It takes over 2 minutes for Captain Awesome to go right of Rover the Cat. The entire time he's on this left side, he's setting up the explosive balloons, he's setting up the explosive lord. He has the slippy seat up. He's not afraid to camp at all. And honestly, Larry's doing a really good job. He's just kind of returning the favor. He's, you know, spacing them out with grenades, using needles, going in when he can. He is taking a little bit more damage, and like I said, Smash 4 was 2 stock, so once you had that lead as Villager, that's really all you needed to kind of win the game. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit to the 4-minute mark, and as you can see, Captain Awesome is hit to the right side of the stage for the first time in the game. And at this point, it's tricky to do anything because Villager's so good at putting on chip damage, and you have to really commit to putting damage on Villager to get around all those traps and tools. And as you can see, Larry Lurr is at 132, Captain Awesome is at 72. He's just doing a little bit of chip damage, which is eventually going to allow him to pick up the kill first on Larry Lurr. And at this point, it is very, very difficult to come back and win. As you can imagine, Captain Awesome played it slow and safe for the next minute until he made the crucial mistake of trying to trade his turnips on the wrong day of the week. Larry made the rookie mistake of challenging a stick with 2 leaves on it sticking out of the ground, but over the next 2 minutes, Larry was actually able to build up the damage on Captain Awesome, leading to the kill with Bouncing Fish and avoiding a timeout situation for Game 1. After this Game 1, Larry was approached with his entourage of coaches, but it seemed like Captain Awesome had a problem with this and was starting to get impatient, which is kind of ironic based on his playstyle. But anyways, Game 2, here we go. We're going back to Smash. And for Game 2, Captain Awesome had the adjustments that he needed to make. I kid you not, it took almost 5 minutes for somebody to lose a stock. It took almost 5 minutes for somebody to lose a stock. Just think about that. By the time somebody loses a stock, there's 1 minute left in the game. Larry actually kept it very close in the last 30 seconds of the game, but unfortunately the explosive balloons got to him. There really wasn't much you could do at this point. You're down 33% with about 15 seconds left. You can't really go off stage against Villager. He'll just get you with the slingshot. And at that point, he's just going for explosive balloons because you can just do it. It's very obnoxious, but a very effective strategy for Captain Awesome. And then you set the slippy seat up. There's really nothing you can do to build that damage. And it's going to be Captain Awesome taking Game 2 in a very long, drawn-out match. Larry, of course, takes a minute to get some advice before heading into Game 3, and he also takes a little bit to decide what stage that he wants to go to, and ultimately he's going to choose Battlefield for Game 3. And again, keep in mind, this whole tournament was pretty much best out of 3. Even in top 8, there was best out of 3 sets. So this is the final game here of the set. And this, of course, is the iconic game of this set because Larry was able to adapt and he played Captain Awesome's game very well. Notice how in the first 30 seconds of the game, Larry does not approach whatsoever. All he has to do here is space out his grenades. Remember, he has those custom grenades that go further, right? So all he has to do here is throw out those grenades and avoid all of Villager's antics that he's very used to at this point. And basically all he has to do here is get the percentage lead, run away, and play the exact same game that Villager was playing earlier. And best of all for Larry, he was able to pick up the first stock of the game, which meant that he had full control of the pace of this game for the next 2 minutes and 54 seconds. At this point, Captain Awesome had his back against the wall as he was forced to play more aggressive to try to take out Larry Lurr's first stock. Larry continued to add damage to Captain Awesome as the crowd chanted his name.
The Larry chant.
Larry chant, very well deserved, by the way. Very well deserved. Larry has weathered this storm of just an onslaught.
Larry finally lost his first stock, but at this point, Captain Awesome had 102% with only 40 seconds remaining in the game. And worst of all for Captain Awesome, the crowd began to chant, "Time him out."
The timeout chants are real, and I think Larry, being the crowd pleaser, will oblige right now.
And with that, let's go ahead and enjoy the final 10 seconds of this match.
Larry Lurr, 9 seconds, 8. Dude, they are counting down out here.
Hold on.
3,
2, 1. Get him out of here! Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
Look, that's crazy, dude. The most hyped timeout we have seen.
Now, hold on. The nerve of Captain Awesome to sit there and look salty. Do you know what you were doing the whole set? How dare you look salty? How dare you look salty? You better button that shirt up another one and go and walk off that stage.
After defeating Captain Awesome, Larry would go on to place 9th at this tournament out of 1,926 entrants. And of course, he was compensated appropriately for what he had to go through to place there. Captain Awesome ended up placing 17th, which I would say is impressive considering how many people he must have timed out to place that high. I mean, we've seen our fair share of smashers raging throughout the years, so it's honestly impressive that he was able to time people out round after round without any kind of punishment. And that pretty much concludes the story of the hypest timeout we've seen in Smash. We all know today that Larry still competes and is on that content grind, but you might be wondering what happened to Captain Awesome after customs were banned in Smash 4. Well, don't worry, after customs were banned, he picked up a much faster character that was able to take stocks in a flash.
And it's Bayonetta. Bro, you're Oh, whoa, Captain Awesome.
But in all seriousness, I went back through a few videos featuring him, and I saw a lot of comments saying that he changed his tag to Interrobang, and he now plays Joker in Smash Ultimate. It seems like a lot of people that know him personally say he's a pretty chill dude despite his playstyle. That being said, the first thing I found when I looked up his tag was him playing Banjo and doing this to his opponent, so it seems like he transitioned pretty well to Ultimate. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I always enjoy going back to sets that I watched kind of growing up and, you know, analyzing them and kind of bringing them to light again for people that are kind of newer to the game or just haven't seen it in a while and like to revisit like me. If you guys enjoyed this video or really any kind of Smash content, I definitely recommend you hit that subscribe button. I'm always uploading new videos. I try to keep it consistent by uploading a longer video every couple days, if not, you know, shorts every single day. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to me if you like that kind of content. And if you want me to do more videos like this, definitely leave a like on this video. That always lets me know that you guys enjoyed it. Again, shout outs to Larry. Shout outs to Captain Awesome for honestly an iconic set. You know, it was kind of lame at the time, but it's come to be one of the most iconic sets. And like I said, definitely go subscribe to Larry. He's a content monster and he's still competing at a high level. So you know, definitely go check him out. Other than that, I've got nothing else for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.